Okay, today we're going to talk about fins. You'll get a piece of 1/8" Sintra. It's a piece of plastic, it's hard rigid plastic. And what you're going to end up doing, I would use a ruler if you're doing straight edges, or you can draw rounder objects if you want to make an elliptical fin. But you're going to draw out as many fins as you need. In this case, I'm going to do 4 fins. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And all I did was I measured 3 inches, drew a line across, measured 3 inches, drew a line across, and then split them. So they should be identical. Now to cut this, we're going to use tin snips. And these are usually used for metal, but in this case we're going to use them for this plastic. They work just like a scissors. They're a little bit big for your hands, so if you have to use 2 hands, you can. But you just line them up and you cut them. And again, it will be a little bit tight or tough for you to cut. You can use 2 hands. Once you get it started, you can use 2 hands like that. Just be careful where the pieces fly. Now when you cut this part here, sometimes they tend to break like that, and sometimes they tend to twist on you. So you want to make sure you hold it as you're cutting. And you can have somebody hold it, just make sure your fingers are not in the right way, in the way of the cut. Now, since I had this one break here, what I would do is I'd probably cut a different fin, but what I'm going to do right now, these fins all need to be the same size, and so when I get them finished, I want to make sure that they're all the same size, so I'll stand them next to each other. If they're not, I can take the sanding board and I can take this and sand those. The other thing with the sanding board is that you can get all those rough edges. The more rough edges you have, the more drag you have, so the less height you're going to obtain. So you can sand all those edges off. At this point, if you want to, and you take markers, you can color the fins up, put your names on them, put your stars, like a star or USA or whatever you want to write on there. And you get those all finished up. Now, in order to place these, we're going to use hot glue. And we have our rocket, and I've got these sheets of paper, and there's a 4-sided and a 3-sided one. So if I have 4 fins, the center of the rocket's going to go right here, and the 4 fins are going to go on the sides. Okay, so if I want to do that, what I would do is take and center this in here, and you can mark on your rocket the 4 points where they're going to go. And then what's going to happen is you're going to take these, and there's 2 parts to gluing this. Now you can have your fins sitting in here. You can do it like this if you want. You can have them stick down past the engine. I wouldn't go too far because we have to have this the igniter to get in there, and if you have all your fins going down, you're going to have a hard time getting the igniter in there. But you can have them stick down below there a little bit. I'm going to put mine straight up. Now if you put them exactly perfectly straight, the rocket will go straight. If you twist them just a little bit, and I'm not talking much, but like 5 degrees all in the same direction, your rocket, instead of going straight up, it'll twist as it goes up. So you can choose on that. But what we're going to use, we're going to use a hot glue gun for this. And the first step is to take the hot glue gun, and we're going to glue the fins onto the rocket body. So on the edge you're going to glue to the rocket body, you can put a bead of glue. You're going to find your spot you want, and you're going to have to hold it in place for a little while until the glue dries. Now what I would do is I'd put all 4 of those on right away, because if you do the next part, the glue is actually going to melt the glue that's holding it on there. We have to reinforce these fins. They're going to come flying off if you don't reinforce them. So we want to make sure that we get them on there nice and secure. If you go too slow, like I'm going here, the fins actually, the glue will actually dry. So you want to go fairly fast so that the glue doesn't harden up on you right away. And one more to go. Now, last step to this is to actually reinforce the fins, because they're only held on with this little bit of glue right here. So what I want to do is make sure that I have my fins in the right spot. Now if they don't look like they're even, you're going to have to maybe take one off And you kind of look down the tube there and see if you can see if they're straight or not. And mine are close, but they're not exact. So I could take them off, and you might lose some paper on there, but you can take them off and repeel them. Now the last step is to reinforce this. Is you want to run a bead of glue along each edge of the fins, and that's going to secure it better onto the rocket body. So you just want to put an even bead all the way across the edge. And then the last step for your rocket at this stage is to put on your launch lug. These will be launched off of a steel post. And so what you're going to end up getting is a plastic straw that'll look like this. And you want to put it in between. So this is going to go like that. And there'll be a tube that goes up, or metal rod, that this is going to ride on to hold it in place in the launch pad. So what I would do is I would put the glue on first where you want to put the straw. And you got to be careful here not to use too much glue, because if you get the ends of the straw clogged up, then it won't ride on the steel tube. So you don't want to get anything on the ends here. And there's your fins and your launch lug. And the only thing left is the recovery system and the nose cone.